What's up guys, Raccoon here with another Dragonball Legends video here. Today we gonna evaluate part 3 of Legends Fest. I've done this for the other two parts as well. Yeah, we're gonna look at part 3 and everything we've got here and then give this an evaluation. And then lastly gonna look at this whole Legends Fest campaign as a total. I gave part 1 I think an 8 and part 2 a 6. Just based on calculation, everything. So yeah, we will at the end of this part 3 evaluation add all the numbers and divide them by 3 to give the Legends Fest the total number. So my categories for evaluating this are the reveal itself, like the Legends information, the banner for the new character itself, and then the content we got outside of the new character here. Yeah, we're gonna start with the Legends information here. I'm not gonna go and show the full 28 video here. That's not. We're gonna go over what we had here. So we had the. We started Legends information off with the GT intro song here, which was really nice. Recap, then obviously showing for the Ultra, new abilities. So what else was there? Yeah, new equipment, which is in the equipment bonanza and everything. This event excludes Goku that they shown, some other stuff here, and then Zenkai for Baby, which yeah, I think this was the main things here. Obviously some events like raid and stuff, but I'm not counting raids or anything, because if I want to count that, this would be a bit difficult, because the stuff they're giving us for free is always a 10 out of 10. There's nothing to complain about here. So the reveal, the most important thing for me I think when it comes to reveals is hype. And I would say if we didn't have like the intro song in here and maybe the you know what they always do for the Ultras with their special performance and everything, I think I would have given this maybe even only a 3, but I'm gonna give it a 4 or 5 out of 10. No, the main reason why is not because of the character itself. I don't think that was the issue. However, if you noticed, a few days before they did their review, they basically what was the word for this? I forgot. Not reveal. They leaked. That was what I'm looking for. They leaked the Zenkai for Super Baby 2, which automatically everyone was like, okay, we're getting GT. Now the problem here is we have only one Ultra we're getting, and if you're seeing Super Baby 2 getting a Zenkai, who do you guys think everybody thought Ultra was? Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Like, no one was surprised that we're gonna get this character the moment we saw his Zenkai getting leaked. So, and that's fine if they do that as a kind of surprise leaking thing, okay? But if you do that, and we know your Zenkai, we know your LF character, the free-to-play doesn't really matter, you don't have anything else that's crazy surprising for this Legends information, why do we even come here other than maybe looking at the abilities, which are not complete anyway, so we have to later look the abilities on their other website? And the answer is nothing. And that's kind of the problem here. If this was a double Ultra situation, and we would get an Ultra Broly next to this guy, total different story, right? Because then they have something to back it up, that they leaked Super Baby 2. Like, for this part 3 in particular, for this specific unit, leaking this Zenkai, in my opinion, was a bad idea. Because, again, the moment you see this guy, it's already related to this Goku specifically. No one is gonna be, oh, it's be Omega Shenron or something. Everybody knows it's gonna be him. Granted, they gave us full power instead of the first transformation Goku, which I personally don't understand why, but I don't mind. Both looks cool. Animations and everything is great, but it's just not really surprising that we get Super Saiyan 4 Goku. It wasn't surprising we get a Zenkai. It takes a lot of the hype out of Legends formation, and I think hype is the most important thing. Here, compared to Part 2, where we didn't know what we get. I mean, we know we get Survivor Saga stuff. It was most likely Goku in hit, but it wasn't like the clear-cut it's Goku in hit. And Gohan was obviously something people predicted, but there was no clue there, so you have more hype to look forward to looking the whole thing, and this is lacking here. So I think 5 out of 10 out of generosity I'm gonna give it here, but I don't know if that's too low. Maybe 5 or 4, something like that. I will think about it later, but yeah, Legends formation, 5 out of 10 for now. Maybe I will put it down to 4, depends. Okay, then we're gonna look at the Ultra Rising banner for this Goku. Now Ultra banners always are not really good. We can look at the lineup here. I mean, the 1% sparkings here are just irrelevant. Super Baby 2 is here, which is, I would say, because he's a recent Zenkai, that's fine. This Android 17 is here, which is, I would say, fine, but the only reason why is because during this part 3 PvP season, he's on Z tier and he actually does good damage there, especially in Proud. You can use this guy definitely. However, generally speaking, if we excluding the boost system, not the best pick, and those 2 are benches. So when it comes to the banner, it's an Ultra banner. It's the most basic thing for an Ultra banner. I would say at 2, at max you have 2 other units that are worth pulling. So it's a 5 out of 10, 6. I would say 6 out of 10. It's okay. There could be worse. This banner could have been 4 LFs that don't mean anything. Not recent Zenkai, nothing. So I'm giving this a 6. I would need one other, I would say, rather good LF here to call it a 7. Because this is great for this PvP season, though afterwards, when he's not in Z tier, he's gonna be bad again. So this is also not judging how good Baby is, by the way, because I think having a recent Zenkai, generally speaking, is a good thing. So yeah, the banner 6 out of 10 here. Moving now then to Super Saiyan 4 Goku himself. This is probably gonna go very fast because there hasn't been a lot we got for part 3. Goku is a really difficult unit to evaluate, because if I look just at him, I would probably give him a 4, because card sealing and rising rush protection thing. But at the same time, he's like really needed because of you know who. Like, if this guy didn't exist and wasn't such an infinite combo unit and you need this guy to stop him, then it would be a different story. But this character forces this guy to exist with the broken defensive ability that he has. And I have to say, because everyone's biggest worry was like basically Sun Family being the best team in the game with these 3, which is not the case. So in that regard, I would even go as far to give him a 7. Because of the GT restrictions. I think the GT restrictions, now granted, you only need 1, so you could technically run him, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, this guy, and this is also still a broken team, but I think if he had no restrictions, it would be way worse. I think the anti-rush mechanic should have been 2 GT members, so is 7 maybe too much? 6, or don't start with the 6-7 jokes, but 6 or 7, something in that range, I think makes sense for this guy. I don't think he's a negative, because I mean, what drags him down for me is the is the anti-rush mechanic, basically, as well as the fact that you can run Gohan still with him. Like, you can still run this trio here. It's not like, I would say if they didn't have this anti-rush mechanic, or at least it would have been more restrictive to 2 GT Battle members, I would even say he would be an 8. Yeah, I'm giving him a 7. I think a 7 is fine for this guy. I thought he was gonna be like total disaster, but I would say he's not. Now next is the meta that I forgot to mention before I gotta talk about the content here. I forgot to add this as something that's going to be on the list here. Before part 3, it was horrible because it's basically Gohan, Namek Goku, and either UI or Gogeta, and nothing else by far. Now we have different kind of GT setups. For example, yeah, like you can send again. You could run. I'll go here to normal characters here for this. These two, and then Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the GT one with Gohan or with Namek Goku. Still have Gogeta around. Super Vegeta is still okay. I would say it's still top meta heavy, like top 5 and nothing else matters. But if it got better compared to before. I've seen some people even arguing this guy being back a little bit. I think these guys can be okay. Definitely not as bad as it was before part 3 because this guy was destroying them. So. And not as many double yellow. You basically don't run double yellow anymore. Namek Goku is not necessarily the unit you're running in every match, so I would say it's okay. It's a 5. I still think there's some other units that kind of need some more screen time. Like, you're not really running movies, and I would say Goku did definitely hurt movies. Or powerful opponent with him being basically really counter unit to this guy, which was the glue to movies and powerful opponents. So in that regard, it got worse. So I would say a 5. It's okay. It could be worse, but it also could be better. Then we're gonna look next with the content they gave us outside of the new unit, and that's Super Baby 2 Zenkai and this free-to-play Goku. Super Baby 2. This is a tough situation for this guy because when you look at GT, if you guys seeing somebody in the background, don't mind. Wait a second. Sorry for the pause there. Probably have to cut this out maybe. Yeah, back to GT. If you look, considering Super Baby 2, if you look at the LF characters, can I sort this by LFs? I can. But if you look at the LF options here, there wasn't that many they could Zenkai that would fit the team. Like, who would they, like, this guy just come out? They're not gonna Zenkai this guy, obviously. Omega Shenron, I guess they could. Green, green, red. But then he would kind of compete on as a green unit on this spot, so it's like, iffy. They're not gonna Zenkai Super 17 because double red. Trust me, you don't want to run double red with Gohan existing. It wouldn't have been the best. This guy got a Zenkai already. These guys, everyone else, every other LF here got a Zenkai. So it's basically just Baby, Omega, and Super 17 who were their options. And the issue with Baby is he is heavy, and I mean heavy strike oriented. He has like a 20k gap between a strike and blast, and this is a blast heavy team. So he doesn't fit here on GT at all. I would say for 100%, this guy is by far better on GT for this trio than this guy is. So it basically leaves Baby with only one team, which is powerful opponent, and it's like, you're competing with Janemba here, and not that Janemba is this busted unit, but it's just, it's kind of tough. Like, you can tell they were holding back with this guy. 160% damage guard. Do you guys realize how low this is? I want you guys to mention, just to comparison, I think Future Gordon has 180, maybe even 200, and Super Vegeta baseline has also 180 and gets like extra 40 against big moves. This guy has nothing. He is so frail right now. It's insane. I personally think, and by the way, I'm recording this on Tuesday when they already make the announcement that the next campaign is going to be Daima. This guy is done. This guy is done because what's going to happen is Daima Goku one-time strike into for unique age into lock in. This guy's dead. Straight up dead. He has no type neutral until somebody else dies or if you use a blue card before. He's dead. I gotta tell you guys that right now. This guy is not making it. Like, it's really. I'm not gonna count a minus point for this guy with considering Daima. But this is gonna make him this is a really unfortunate Zenkai, I would say. Because he can't perform in the team he wants to be, and on powerful opponent, you could argue him being maybe better than Janemba, but it's not that far apart. Like, I would honestly say, like, he has some good qualities, but also some, like, I would say his highest could be potentially better than Janemba's. But at this point, it's not that much. And it's like, okay, he has the ability to remove your vanish, destroy 2 cards. People are just going to switch out, and it's not going to matter as much. So, and he doesn't tank well enough so he can, for example, heal back up and reuse the unique gauge most of the times. Like, I had moments, and this isn't Proud, but it's still... No, I don't even think it wasn't Proud. I fought an NEGT team, and I was running these 3, like this guy and the other 2. I killed him in 3 cards. Zenkai 7, by the way. I used 2 blasts with this guy, and 1 blast with Vegeta, and he died. That's how frail Baby is. And I want to just sort of say it. My Super Saiyan 3 Goku is only at 7 stars. So, it's not like I have a 14 stars Goku and one-shot this Baby at Zenkai 7 stars. No, equal stars, but he was Zenkai, and he died in 3 cards. I just switched in to make sure he died 100%, but, bro, he took like 60 to 70% of his health just from this guy. Vegeta is gonna destroy this guy. This guy can absolutely... I mean, he destroyed this guy on release also, like... But it's like, he doesn't tank well, and it's a big issue, and again, with Daima Super Saiyan Goku getting a Zenkai, this guy is gonna be deleted. But yeah, it's really unfortunate because again, he's competing with Janemba on powerful opponent. He's not fitting well on GT because he's strike-based, heavily strike-based, and what they should have done is higher defenses for sure. Like 200% damage guard, honestly. I would have said 200% damage guard would have been my thing here. And then obviously equal sets, because then he could be run on GT, which is sadly not the case. I'm giving this guy... The thing is, he himself, performing-wise, I will give him like a 6. But the issue of this team is dragging him down to a 4 right now, honestly. This sounds really bad, and I'm sorry, but bro, he can take a hit, and he doesn't fit on the team he wants to be. He's competing with the other yellow unit. I'm sorry, he was a bad choice. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm honestly gonna say they should have Zenkai Omega Shenron. Because this would have been a green red setup, which is, by the way, purple weak, I know, in the future, but it would have been better for his Omega Shenron, because again, he also has multiple tags. I mean, then again, he's competing with Gogeta. Like, the Zenkai options are just horrible here. They just are. This might be a case where I even have to say they shouldn't have Zenkai in LF at all. And I know this sounds bad for Legends Fest. I know. They got equipment, so they're gonna give him a Zenkai anyway, but he doesn't fit the team, and he's just like, I would rather have a normal Zenkai that fits the team better and have an LF Zenkai who's gonna fall off immediately and is irrelevant. Like, he is basically what I would say that the Blue Boys are last year. They were so irrelevant. It's like, great, they got a Zenkai, and it's like, but they don't matter enough. Yeah. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's kind of a waste of a unit. Now, this guy can get the equipment later on to be better, but it's just, I think this is a waste of the Zenkai in this case. So I'm giving it a 4, which, it sounds mean. Individually, he's definitely better, but considering everything, it's not good for him. And we see now what is going to happen to the future. He's going to be only worse. In fact, Janemba with Daima, Super Saiyan Daima Goku getting a Zenkai, Janemba is definitely better because he has buff removal against blues, and healing, and type neutrality. This guy doesn't have it. So, yeah, it's unfortunate for Baby. Really unfortunate. Like, I like this character a lot. He can have good highs. Again, individually, he's like a 6 for me. Maybe even 7. Maybe. Nah, I would say 6, but it's just the situation where he got Zenkai is just bad. It's what it is. And then last we got this guy. I'm always doing very difficult to validate 1% sparking event exclusive characters because they're just that useless. They always are. Like, we haven't gotten a good event exclusive character for a year since Anniversary last year with the Yellow 18. He is an interesting one, but the issue is they didn't give him Covenant outside of the main. That's the only problem. No Covenant, and you have to stay on the field 7 timer counts. I don't know how should I like, because this guy technically is a 0 because he does nothing. He doesn't have no impact. He doesn't matter. But it's just at this point, events exclusive characters are so bad that I don't want to give him a 0 every single time because it's going to drag down the festival more than it should be. I don't know. I'm giving him a 3 because he has some kind of purpose. He gives support. Actually, funny enough, he gives actually support. And getting Dragon Balls can be nice, so this is... but he's then 1 point away from being as good as Super Baby 2 in my consideration. I don't like that. You know what? I'm giving Baby a 5. For individuality, I'm giving Baby a 5, but I'm giving this guy a 3. This is how I'm gonna do it. So yeah, this is the last thing to consider. Also, with content, the more content we get, I'm gonna add the points divided by 2. So if you divide this by 2, it would be a 4 in total. Because again, could have been better, but also he's competing with Janemba. It's just a horrible situation for this guy. Now what we're gonna do, again, to resume every point we got, 5 out of 10 for the reveal, 6 out of 10 for the banner, 7 out of 10 for this Goku, 5 out of 10 for the meta, and then total 4 out of 10 for the content here. So these are in total 5 categories, and dividing the, I would say, total points here divided by 5, I'm coming out with a 5.4 out of 10. Yeah, for me personally, it was also kind of rather mid. Again, this guy doesn't mean anything. This guy doesn't mean anything. This guy's okay. This was mid. Like, everything on part 3 actually, in my honestly, is mid. It just is. Like, but I mean, the Zenkai was already, for GT specifically, was destined to fail no matter what. It's just unfortunate, but yeah, there has not been a lot of stuff. I think maybe if they'd given us an, I don't know, added equipment, I don't know, something. Again, this guy's irrelevant. The events that released with this guy matter more than he does. It's just what it is. Yeah, 5.4. So I have to, round that down to 5. It's somehow I evaluated this worse than part 2, which is crazy to think about. I give part 2 a 6, just so you know. But it's again, it's not his fault. It's really not. It's just more of everything else that came with it. So, being rather boring. Like part 2 at least had a lot of content. This part that mattered, yeah, to make it clear. Like Super Vegeta Zenkai mattered. Like stuff that really was important, more or less, but yeah. So 5 out of 10 here for part 3. Now to resume what we got for part 1, we had 8. For part 2 we have 6, and for this we had 5. You can obviously clearly disagree with my whole evaluation here, because it feels weird to say that I get 5 out of 10 for this part 3, but dividing all these 3 things by 3, we get a 6.3 out of 10, which is a 6 for this Legends Fest in total. Which is just based on the calculations and the evaluation I give for everything. Now to my personal opinion, not concluding numbers, but how I feel about Legends Fest this year. It was definitely better than last year, because last year was a horrible, I would say quite disastrous. Every part was a disaster, by the way. Part 1, Vegito, disaster, because Vegito, March Vegeta sucks. Also Goku Black, horrible. Part 2, Friku, made everything worse. Part 3, I would admit, was very good. Part 3 last year was good because it didn't make the things worse. And same with this part 3, actually. It didn't make the situation worse. But I would say part 2 right this year was... I would say part 2 of this year, meta-wise, was just as bad as part 1 last year. But part 2 last year was just... If they would have topped that, I would have been mad, but yeah. I think it was okay. It wasn't really good. It was okay. There were things that I just think shouldn't have happened. Again, Janemba, no cartoon entry. Which, again, it's a sad thing that he's the only character that he doesn't have cartoon entry in this whole Legends Fest from the, I would say, newer characters. And keep in mind, once Android 13 is not really core on androids or powerful opponent in movies, Janemba can't get a cartoon entry anymore. He's relying on Android 13. That's something that... This feels like Evo and Kaba, which shouldn't have happened. Kaba has all the buff removal for Vegeta. That shouldn't have been the case. Vegeta should have buff removal by himself. That's not how we're doing things here, so... Or Goku and Hit being, like, horrible defensively. I've used this... At this point, I'm saying they not tanking well. Like... Man, today I used them in the Red Gohan. You know, the Red 40th anniversary Gohan ultimate one-shot by Goku and Hit. 7 stars. I think double Zenkai buffed as well. Just... Hello? That shouldn't have happened. I've had other units tank better. So, both 7 stars, by the way, just to be clear. So yeah, stuff like that and Gohan obviously being horrible for the game. Like, out of everything, Gohan has obviously been the most horrible release. But I think when it comes to the LF characters and everything outside of Gohan, they were not too broken. They were actually quite fun, I would say. So I liked it. I personally would also go about the 6 or maybe 7 area. Definitely not an 8. When 8, it's... For this Legends Fest to be an 8 out of 10, Gohan had to be removed from the game. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think about my evaluation here, how I think about the Legends Fest. What would you give this Legends Fest Part 3 or in total? Let me know your opinions in the comments, and see you guys in the next one.